Yo, what up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I had this thing on and I could see my face and I thought I was recording, but I just took a photo of myself and I was just talking and talking and talking for about 3 minutes and I was just talking to myself. Although, to be fair, most of these videos are seen by like maybe one person. And okay, sorry, two people, one person who watches the video, and then one person, being me, who watches it back. So, yeah, welcome back, guy, person, girl, whoever you are. My name is Jason, or J Solo, Jace, whatever you want to call me, I don't really care. But it's another great, beautiful morning here in Bournemouth. Sun shining. It's not as nice as yesterday. Yesterday got up to like 26 degrees. And 26 degrees is saying something for Bournemouth. It's quite getting warm. Yesterday, my plan after work was to leave here, go down to the beach, and spend a bit of time in the sun, baking in the sun, have a swim. But I decided the more responsible thing to do would be to go and do a bit of work. So that's what I did, which is great. Be a better you, you know. I'm talking to myself. Although, if you want to take that advice for yourself, that's perfectly alright. Anyway, hope everyone is doing well. Today I thought I would talk about starting something new. Building a new skill. You know, something like what I'm doing here really is communication. And, you know, initially you are going to be pretty shitty at it, to be honest. It's going to be rough, but perseverance and doing it over and over again, that repetition, it's going to make you a much better, yeah, I guess, expert. You could become an expert in a skill. Like, I want to become an expert in communication. And my biggest, I guess, situation, you could call it, that I've developed a skill really was with regards to playing guitar. So when I was young, when I was in school really, my friends and I decided, or even before that, to be fair, really, now thinking back, it's even before that, I had some really crappy old cheap classical guitar that I'd bought from a Cash Converters or Cash Crusaders, one of the two, which is like a pawn shop. And it's a really crappy, I think it was 500 Rand, or not even, probably like 100 Rand, you know, which is like £5. Really cheap guitar that I didn't really do much with. It kind of just lay around, and every now and then I'd pick it up and pluck a few strings, and I never really turned it into anything. But then when I was in school, you know, always been interested in music really. And then when I was about 16 or 17, my friends and I decided, let's start a band. But there was one, you know, medium-sized problem. Could be a small problem, really. None of us played instruments. Except the drummer guy. He had been playing drums for about a year, so he was way more advanced than us, you know. So, I mean, we all decided, it was three of us really, me and my two friends, we decided we're going to pick up an instrument. I picked up a guitar. My friend Devin picked up a guitar. Shout out Devin, if you watch this ever. And Dario, bassist, he picked up the bass guitar. Shout out to Dario. And yeah, we all just decided to try our luck at it. And my first guitar was a Christmas present that my parents got me from a shop called Hi-Fi Corporation. They did these deals, and I don't think they're around anymore. Hi-Fi Corp, I'm sure, closed down, but they were like an electronic store. They sold all various kinds of things like TVs and speakers and sound systems and hi-fis and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I think it was about 1,000 or 1,500 Rand for a Behringer, like a Strat mock guitar, with a little amp and a carry bag and some picks and a strap and a cable. So it had everything with it. And it was a really poor quality, poor build guitar. But I mean, you know, at the beginning, it doesn't really matter what you've got. Whether it's a 100,000 rand guitar or whether it's a 50 rand guitar, it's gonna sound crap in the hands of somebody that's never played guitar before, you know. Which was me. I was that guy. I had no tuner or anything. I had no idea of what tone was or anything like that. I've learned a lot through the years now, and I had picked up some sort of chord chart. I'm not sure if the chord chart was something that I'd bought separately, or if it was, you know, something that came with the guitar. But it was a chord chart. I think it was a blue chord chart, if I remember correctly. It was blue, with the chords sort of, I don't know if you've seen, like, it's a block with the strings, and it shows you which string it is and which strings to play and which strings not to play with the X. And with my beautifully out of tune guitar, super loud, annoying the hell out of everybody in the house, annoying myself, I just started learning how to hold these chord shapes and strumming, and it just sounded terrible. It was ghastly. One day, probably a few months after starting, I managed to find a tuner, and that changed everything, because it started to make sense. You know, it started to sound a little bit more musical, I guess you could call it. And we had eventually organized our first band practice, which was just me and the other guitarist. He had a much bigger amp than I did. I had a little 15 watt. He had about a 50 watt digital amp. He had a Talk amps, decent, not crazy with the tones and stuff. We were looking for like a heavy gain tone, obviously, because we were doing like metal. We loved bands like Bullet for My Valentine and Atreyu and, you know, Avenged Sevenfold and stuff like that. Oh, amazing stuff. Seen all those bands, by the way, except for Avenged Sevenfold. That's on my list. I have to watch them one day. I know that they are a download, or were a download. I don't even know when download is, to be honest. But that is ridiculous. That's like over £300 for a ticket, which is just a little bit ludicrous for my pocket right now. One day. And so we wanted the heavy gain sort of tones, and he didn't really have that. He had like a crunch tone, which now I prefer even now. I do like a heavy gain tone for certain things, obviously. I just don't really play metal much. But I guess, you know, the crux of the story really, or what I'm trying to get at, is perseverance is key. That's the only thing that really matters. It doesn't matter if you've got talent. It doesn't matter if you've got any skill, or if you're terrible at something, or if you're good at something. The only way you're going to get better is by repetition and doing it over and over and over again. That's why these annoying videos are coming at you over and over and over again. I'm talking to you, one person who watches these videos. And if you are that one person who watches these videos, please like. And if you're not subscribed, please become one of my subscribers. I'd really appreciate that. Not so much for you, more for me. It helps the YouTube algorithm. It helps these videos go out to more people. And maybe one day I could have two viewers per video. That would be phenomenal. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening to my little rant sesh, my little communication exercise for myself. And I feel like it's getting better because of the perseverance again. So I'm doing another one tomorrow. Just need to figure out what the subject's going to be. Anyway, guys, have a great Thursday. Hopefully you have a beautiful day, regardless of where you are in the world and what your circumstances are. Things can always get better. Anyway, thank you. I love you. Goodbye.